Don't look at the past, no, we're not going that way. Oh, now make it last, make it last to the break of day. No matter what people say, live life in a fast lane. Double shot for the gifted, triple shot for the pain. There you go, drink it up, all this love in a cup. Yeah, we go slow, we go fast. Yeah, we can't get enough. We stay all day, all night, living in paradise. Remember, you don't get it twice. The time of your life. This is the time of your life. Remember, you don't get it twice. The time of your life. Remember, you don't get it twice. The time of your life.
So far, both of these teams have improved this afternoon. There is still a lot of, even though both of them are pretty in where they are, third place, fifth place, and is guaranteed to have another shot within the next round. Nothing is really ever certain until the final whistle. So, it is the opportunity for dynamic re-show that this ground is invincible teams to show up and unfold this story for you again on your screen with their 4-4-1 formation. Dynamic CEBU FC. Much has been unchanged, much has not been tweaked or modified, but you can guarantee it's going to be the same flavor. They are going to overload sections of the field, and without behind them would be AGUILAS UMAK FC with their own 4-3-3 formation, and with their objective control the midfield and have their quick wingers shift and move over to add avenues to the attack. It will be something of a matchup to watch. Will be the substitutes of both teams. Shows the depth of the squad of both of these clubs. Hopefully, they would all be used to maximum efficiency this afternoon. Likely playing from left to right, and we have kickoff. In defense from right to left and in white would be your AGUILAS UMAK squad. They have been a really close with danger. Oh, another poorly timed pass there. Glenn Ramos was hoping Gadia would be there. Tete took advantage and had to take matters into his own hands. Glenn Ramos knows that the initiative early. Here it goes. It's nice and low, and that was well read. Seniza below. That was another close right there, but being pressured. And the pressure works out. The ball recovered. That was unfortunate. The ball goes towards the other direction. Looks. Oh, that was a good reading of the game, but a bit too physical for the referee's taste. Asano just wanted to get that ball, get over the defense. While losing that ball, CEBU could have an opportunity with the players moving forward. Take a good pass, goes for the dot, bounces off Shiraoka. But he manages to keep it under his glove. May nakaabang doon. Sure, Healing was lurking for that rebound. Shiraoka. These teams have yet to completely prove themselves, but now we have kickoff with Aguilas UMAK FC getting the second half started for us, but losing the ball in the process. Well, it looks like they're taking their time, but Aguilas eventually try to land a far pass right there, and they see that was a shot. Unfortunate, it was blocked. Isa Diallo there with. The delivery comes in and straight into the hands of the keeper. Nagkaroon ng konting gulo. Ramos lifts it away, but still too close to the keeper for that one. Shiro looking for a teammate up front. There was plenty of space, and looks like Cartarao has some chance there. And that was so close to being the opener here. He's forced with a save. Or rather, it was what an introduction there.
Joshua Brose.
Looks like Brose has also been introduced. Corner, well defended, well cleared. And could be an opportunity. A one against two. Needs to make it count. And who wants to push it? Yes, Joshua Brose has taken the initiative. First touch on the ball. And an immediate impact coming from the substitution. CEBU played their cards right, and out of nowhere takes the lead in what would have been a stalemate. Let's have a look at that again. 1-on-1. It doesn't get any better than that. Oka had a chance to stop it, but made an advance too quickly, and now the home crowd is celebrating right on your screens. Almost the entirety of the second half. But here it comes. Will they make them pay? Not this time. It goes and it's well. But there was good hands coming from Semblante. In the air instead with poor contact. The ball is still up for contest. And Aguilas might have rolled it at a critical area. They're in the box. Goes down, and the referee has pointed to the spot. He had to look at the linesman first to confirm if both of them agrees with this. And looks like the again. I think it was the strikers with nothing. And this time they don't end with anything. Bloom did not do it. Semblante has ensured that Bloom wanted to place it, thinking Semblante would go the other way. probably getting fired up now. Aguilas wants it back. They get it back. Palpalato wants to take it himself. Semblante drops it. Aguilas just wants to get all of their aces out now. Al-Mashuri comes in. Straight into the hands of Semblante, who... Pass. Good delivery here. They just need to put a good head in. No chance. Aguilas wants to get away. Shiraoka now wants to be involved in the play. The squad, the extra man that they need. High risk, high reward here. Kore stepping it up against Talarok Jr. All hands on deck for Aguilas. Oh, and looks like the call has been reversed. Referee with the whistle to his mouth. And the referee has called it quits. And CEBU has survived. What could have been a late onslaught coming from Aguilas UMAK.
The final score is
Dynamic of CEBU 1.
Mostra tudo que cê sabe que o livrinho vai te olhar. Pode sentar. Pode sentar. Pode sentar. E se tiver muito excitada, pode dançar pelada.
It is another clash here between championship round hopefuls. Who will prevail over the other? We are going to find out in 90 minutes of football action, of course. We've got Aguilas UMAK scoring off with dynamic Herb CEBU, match number 35. And a big thank you for joining us as we are coming to you from the historic Rizal Memorial Stadium. And you're catching this one on the Facebook and YouTube pages of the Philippines Football League. Alongside Glenn Casas, this is Claro Manzano. Aguilas to protect their spot in the top 6. CEBU to crash the party very early. Coach Frank Huesca, now that we look at it, likes to play the 4-2-3-1. And
goalkeeper putting himself under pressure. It's the opener. Halike, will he take it? What a goal! Halike! And it's a goal. Bottom left corner. Opportunity for Philippine Army, and it is an equalizer. Fantastic goal. Esprit on the right side, looking for the cross. Beto, and it's a goal for Want the Gig. Yoka takes it straight to the goal. First blood drawn. Could easily be pulled back, but here's Aristorenas, no offside. Aristorenas makes it 2.
Mirbach meets that one from Malunsoko. Shoots, and they double the lead.
Yamaguchi! What a hit!
There's an attacking chance, and the Aguilas slip it in. Will it be the Gentle Giants or will it be the Aguilas? It's Dynamic Herb CEBU FC and Aguilas UMAK FC in your Philippines Football League Championship round action. And we are bringing you match number 118 at the Rizal Memorial Stadium in Manila. And we have our teams, of course, right here, Ed. As much as they are not competing for the title, this is where you want to be, playing high-level, high-octane, high-intensity championship round games.
Exactly. It's a very interesting affair here tonight. Two defensively minded teams. It's a very interesting mix of tactics on who is willing to throw the first punch. And it's a very good weather here tonight for football here, Claudio. It's good to know that the temperature dropped down a bit. There was a bit of a rain shower in the previous game. But yes, as I was saying, both defensively minded teams. Neither of them have a chance to win the Philippines Football League this season. But still a high-level competition, just like you said.
And this is Claudio Manzano alongside Ed Lizaba, and we are going to talk about the standings, of course, right here. You do have Cebu in rank number 4, and you have the Aguilas, who are in number 6 because they lose out on goal difference with Stallion Laguna. Cebu need to get the W so that they could chase down Kaya for 3rd spot. The Aguilas have an opportunity to realistically finish in 5th over Stallion. But here's that previous meeting, Ed, and we do remember, and there was drama in this one. It was close fought between Cebu and the Aguilas. Heartbreaking with the penalty, but it works either way. Heartbreaking or not heartbreaking, of course. Whatever floats each team's boat.
Exactly, and of course, heartbreak is just another day in the office for these football teams. And the important thing is, how do you respond and how do you bounce back? This previous game was a highly physical affair. It was very rough and tumble, but that's exactly what we expected to see from two highly defensive teams. They like to beat their opponents with pure physicality, and of course to pounce on the mistakes of their particular opponent. So I'm expecting more or less of the same here tonight. Maybe more physicality and maybe a bit more attacking intent. So that way, Aguilas at least could overturn that previous result and try to get a win over Cebu here today.
Our two teams here figured in this meeting about 2 months ago, last March 22. And this one was played at the dynamic Herb Borromeo Sports Complex, and Joshua Brose came away as the lone goal scorer. He did score in the 60th minute. The Aguilas were looking to stay close. But let's also talk about it, Ed, while we are at it. When our team squared off in round 1, which was last November 2, 2025, Cebu bagged a 2-0 victory with goals from Jaime Rosquillo and Noah Ledel. So, the Gentle Giants, on paper, have this mastery over the Aguilas. And with that, let's talk about Cebu FC. Eliminate mistakes. Okay nga that they're able to rescue these draws late in the game. But you're saying they need to nail this, because obviously it's a lot different if they didn't concede those goals and score late in the game. Simple as this.
And you have to keep in mind that their last 2 games were against the top 2 teams in the league. They had their first one against Manila Digger. They could have come away with the win there, but those small mistakes, those defensive lapses, ended up in a draw, which is still a good result for them. But of course, if you have a chance to bag all 3 points, you got to make sure that you're defensively solid and that you're on point for the entire 90 minutes, so you can go ahead and walk away with that full result. They also came away with a draw against Gig, and those goals, again, the goals that they conceded are entirely preventable if they just stayed focused for the whole 90 minutes, and I think that's exactly what they're going to do here tonight, so that way they can ensure that they walk away with a full 3 points here.
It's a statement or something if you could hold title contenders to a draw, but in moments like these, draws can hurt you in the long run, as we know, and that is why it's really that moment for the Gentle Giants to add some further points on the board, or even maximum. And let's get to our player to look out for here. Jaime Rosquillo is the player to look out for the Gentle Giants.
Jaime Rosquillo, I mean, what else can you say about this guy that hasn't already been said? He's such a promising player that you can fit him in both the defensive line as a center back, and I believe he played some games at left back or right back here and then. He's a very serviceable, reliable player. In the previous game as well, he was deployed as a 6 in that 4-4-2 double pivot against Gig. Such a good player who can contribute offensively and track defensively as well. So not only is he a solid center back, but he's also a very effective box-to-box midfielder if needed. So we're hopefully looking to see more of Jaime Rosquillo's impact here on the game today. But first, let's go ahead to the coach's interview to see what they have to say about tonight's game.
There you go. I hope today we can win this game. It's very important. It's our third match in the third round. It's very important for us to win the game and to earn 3 points. And coming from the recovery, so we'll see. The team will be the answers. They will be 100% to perform for this match. This is a good game against Aguilas. Thank you very much.
As much as we mentioned that draws can hurt you in the long run, my statement pa rin that Cebu is able to derail or make the road to the title more difficult for Manila Digger and One Taguig. It shows that they have something in the bag. Let's head over though to Aguilas UMAK FC. And similar, Ed, same key to victory, eliminate mistakes. As we know, the Aguilas have been punished also by some of their very mistakes. That is why, similar thing on the agenda.
Exactly, and of course, if you remember, Aguilas, they made waves when they started the championship round. A 1-0 win over Manila Digger. If they can replicate that sort of performance tonight against Cebu FC, eliminating those mistakes, being defensively solid, defensively cohesive as well, they could very well walk away with the 3 points here as well. And it's exactly the same game plan here as we've discussed with Cebu. When you're a defensively minded team, minimizing those mistakes and, of course, maximizing your attacking output, it's clear that you're going to walk away with a massive result here today to get back to winning ways.
As much as you say that the Aguilas are a defensive-minded team, they often play the 4-3-3 formation. They're very disciplined on offense. Just a very slight difference when they say they're rolling out a 4-1-4-1, looking to pack the midfield with those two wingers back, and you have your striker in Jibrila, who will be that lone man up front, but the wings could support him, of course. Plenty of options, as we know.
Exactly, and of course, Mikhailo Jibrila, he has very good support down the wings, one of them being Isa Diallo, the club's top goal scorer with 9 goals this season and 1 assist to his name. A very deadly combination up front, and of course, who could forget Kart Talarok. So ever reliable, ever serviceable, running down that right wing, he's for sure looking to give those Cebu wingbacks a lot of trouble here today.
And let's see, of course, that they'll be able to get their offense going, but we are going to take it to our pre-game chant this time around with Aguilas UMAK FC.
For today's game, we expect more battle today against Cebu. Cebu is a tough team also, so we'll try our best also. And in terms of preparation, we prepare well. We forget about last game. We lose that game, but we need to forget so that we can move forward on the next game. So we'll try our best today. Weather is good also, so we'll try to win the game. Thank you.
So the weather is good according to Coach Bincolina. It is raining during the interview, so I am assuming he likes to play in the rain. With this, of course, you mentioned Aguilas getting a stunning result, a 1-0 victory over Manila Digger. Tandaan nga natin, the Aguilas actually did have to defeat KFC Iloilo. It ended 2-1 late in the second round because that's what helped them make it to round 6, or round 3 rather. With that, it doesn't seem like a flash in the pan that the Aguilas are able to pull off wins over higher ranked teams. Another team in their path are the Gentle Giants of Cebu FC, who somewhat like to disrupt opposing teams also. So let's see how things will develop, of course, for these two squads.
And yes, Aguilas UMAK, they are capable of really putting up a fight against the higher ranked teams. We've seen that against Manila Digger. We've seen that in round 2 against KFC Iloilo. They know how to put up a fight against teams that are expected to beat them. So let's see how they would fare against a team who is known to not take it easy on whoever they're facing, that being Cebu FC.
These two teams, well, with that fighting mentality. Even a bit of that underdog status, you could say. Now, how do things go when you have two underdogs squaring off with one another? We have 90 minutes, of course, to show us that. We'll take it to the pitch now and tune to the Philippines Football League anthem. We have Cebu FC and Aguilas UMAK. Here we go. another look at the starting lineup of Coach TGR or Tomasito Glenn Ramos and the Cebu FC Gentle Giants.
And let's take a look at again the formation that Cebu is going to display here tonight, a 1-4-4-2. So it's clear that they're looking to play the 4-4-2 double pivot that they used against Montague last time, looking to pack the middle and, if needed, overload the wings. So that way they could at least try to have an attacking edge over Aguilas UMAK by overwhelming both the wings and packing the middle if needed. I do believe that they do have the personnel here for tonight. So let's see if they would be leaving it late like their previous game, or if they're willing to take it to Aguilas as early as from kickoff itself, so that way they could start minimizing mistakes and maximizing their offensive output.
The 4-4-2 is the signature of Coach TGR. Your respective team captains, fullbacks, come to think of it, Papo Corsame and Richard Talarok. And let's head over to our referees. Ang referee natin ngayong gabi ay si Chris Mark Nanyola. Ang kanyang assistants ay sila Ryan Cloresen, Paul Galicia, si Michael Barajas ay ang fourth official, si Roberto Hernandez ay ang referee assessor, at ang ating match commissioner si Mr. Mark Ian Baldo. We'll check in on the starting lineup of Aguilas and Coach Bing. There you go, a 4-1-4-1, and they've actually changed things up a bit here.
A 4-1-4-1 this week. Last week they were employing a 4-2-3-1. So you could say that it's a bit more defensively minded. It's somewhat similar to Cebu's 4-2-2. Again, the same target, pack the middle, overload the wings. So it's really a battle of similar tactics here. It's all just going to go down to the finest of margins and to see who is tactically superior over the other, or who's willing to go that extra mile to really gain those 3 points here tonight.
Team captain of the Aguilas, Nano Amita, is on the bench. He just returned from injury. Actually, take your pick here. Kaito Asano, the favorite to come off the bench. Your respective game changers for our coaches. Also add Leo Makiling into the mix for Cebu. Last game here in our triple header. It's been that day of memorable games, Ed. We'll also take a look at the panel predictions here from our colleagues in the Philippine football community. Do stay with us, of course, as we will run through them. So we have Diego Cordero predicting a 1-0 victory for Cebu over the Aguilas. Chino Sator, PFL database, saying similar. Cebu win over the Aguilas with a 2-0 scoreline. Actually, all of our colleagues are saying Cebu is going to win in terms of predictions. And just to wrap this up, sorry, I'll have to check that. PFL Bible said 3-1 for Cebu also to grab the win here. ESBF, the only team with a somewhat different prediction, predicting a draw. As I had to check myself earlier.
A draw is a very possible result, given Aguilas' reputation for being a disruptor, known for ruining everybody's predictions here.
Well, if the Aguilas get on the front foot, you could also say a draw is possible with the way the dynamic Herb Cebu, comeback Gentle Giants, have been faring as of late. I had a chat with Mr. Tassi actually. All laughs from him as his laser-like shot from Peña just wide, challenging a high-caliber keeper in Rami Jaridi. Hands on his head there. He's a bit frustrated. It was just off, but that's how you want to start your game, Ed, if you're the Aguilas.
That's exactly what you wanted to see. No more relying on late-game heroics. Take the fight to them from kickoff.
Here's Sabu C. Not essentially in the same page as Brose. And Moshi Shiraoka collected. Here's Palpalatok. It goes back the way of Brian Villanueva though. Palpalatok and Villanueva shoot-in fullbacks for their respective teams. Let's take another look here.
Now Peña, he had the right idea, had his heads up. He saw that Jaridi was a little bit out of position, took a gamble on it, he nearly made him pay for it. But that's definitely going to keep Jaridi ready for the whole 90 minutes because of scenarios like that.
Sayang. O muntik na if you're the Aguilas. Rami Jaridi is also bothered by a number of injuries over the course of this season. Cart gets it from Tete. He has Isa Diallo wide. Isa will push the gas, not playing up front, but is on the wing. Cart. Over to his brother Richard. Oftentimes, you will have Richard Talarok playing at left back. You have Cart Talarok playing at right wing. So the chances for the brothers to play alongside or to connect with one another are very rare. Pero kita nga natin ngayon, halos nasa kaliwa na rin si Cart Talarok.
That's an interesting point there, Clara. Even though they're in completely different flanks, when they do get the chance to connect, they make it look so easy.
As Rami Jaridi just intercepted this Isa Diallo ball into a 6-yard box. Connection's never a problem with brothers. Just check the age of the younger brother, and that's the tenure of chemistry between two brothers. No need to do the math there. Yeah, the center back pairing again for Cebu with Ochiai and Takasu. It's a Japanese center back pairing right here for coach TGR. You have Takasu playing right center back and Ochiai at left center back.
They put up a very respectable performance last weekend. They were the same starting center back pairing against Wantagig. They put up a very impressive performance there. So I do respect the coach's decision to keep his faith in that center back duo to see what they could deliver here tonight.
Tete, confident there. Also from Temoshi Shiraoka. One-touch clearance. That ball just coming down to his boot. Kore again hitting the pitch. Tough 60-second sequence here for the big man of the Gentle Giants.
A bit of a wild tackle to throw out and barely 5 minutes into the game.
Isa Diallo will try to cut in. Not the best of touches from Chibrila. Will they cross? They go for a goal. And that is Rami Jaridi for you, everybody. Also known as the Dynamic Herb Borromeo Sports Complex Grandstand.
And what a save that is. You can see a clear vision of this on the replay. This is exactly what they've been missing when Rami Jaridi was off for quite some time. But what a reflex save that is. It's not evident that this man is 40 years old. Not at all.
What is evident, of course, is the resume of Rami Jaridi. A former international again for his country, Tunisia. When you talk about Rami. Also played in the Club World Cup, as our colleague Diego Cordero pointed out early on in the season. And look at Coach Ping earlier. Quality ball in. Palpalatok will collect. A chance to break free for Brose, but we spoke too soon. Both teams in disarray. That's because we're coming off the corner. Kira Yamamoto. On the left, Cart. Very routine for Rami. Got a bit of a hit, and it's a foul against Tete.
Now, 6 minutes into the game, you're kind of liking what you're seeing from Aguilas. They're being the more offensively minded team early on, being able to snuff out Cebu FC's counters this early into the game. And as a result, they've been making Rami Jaridi work as early as now. So I'd say the edge of the game is leaning towards Aguilas UMAK. The question is, can they keep this up for the rest of the game? Or can Cebu do something to change the balance in their favor?
It's about executing your game plan somewhat close to perfection. He did say keys to winning the game for both teams. Eliminate mistakes. Lalo na yung mga unforced errors where you lose the ball or you're just trying to pass with a teammate, because that can give possession to an opponent, especially if it's in your defensive third. Corsame, fancy flick. Richard was able to read Gadia's number. Gadia felt it was Cebu ball. Let's hold on. Fourth official, Michael Barajas, giving his input. So fourth official Michael Barajas was able to point out it is Cebu FC ball. Coach TGR, the opposite of Coach Bing Colina. Coach Bing, let's remember, also handled Cebu FC years back. Abu C, that shot on target, definitely lacking in power. Effortless from Shiraoka.
Shiraoka, of course, coming into today or tonight after sitting out their previous game when Aguilas elected to start Iko Mangawang, who has himself put up a very respectable season here. So that just also goes to show Aguilas' depth in terms of the goalkeeping department.
But the big question is, Ed, where were you when Teimoshi Shiraoka scored a goal as a goalkeeper?
The one and only goalkeeper to ever score a goalkeeper in the Philippines Football League. I'll tell you exactly where I was. I was in complete disbelief at what I just saw. This man scored a goal. I knew it was coming, but to actually see it happening, unbelievable.
Let's remember, they secured a draw at that point in time. And with the way the Aguilas were just toe-to-toe with Maharlika, battling out for the last spot in the championship round. Every point counts. In this instance, malaking bagay yun yung ginawa niya, of course. But I will also point out, Coach Bing Colina is coaching against Cebu. Coach Bing was a member of Cebu's inaugural team to play on the PFL level. You say PFL level because Cebu did play in the Copa Paulino Alcantara. That's where the club made his debut, top flight local competition. Kira Yamamoto's ball stopped by Brian Villanueva. Abu C will push. Abu C hitting the floor. We are mentioning also Dodong Villarreal, that key player. If you have Tito Rami Geridi, and 41 years old, over here for Cebu, that is also the case with Dodong Villarreal, as we know. But the thing is, he plays every game, and it's like he does not get hurt. A true Iron Man, as Diallo will take on Gadia. High looping ball. Abu C gets this from Kapawa. Rosquillo. Corsame. Unfortunate here for Cebu.
But to your point earlier, Claudio, like, you would say that Aguilas has a bit of an edge here over Cebu, considering that their head coach knows a bit more of Cebu's culture, how they like to play, and what possible game plans they could cook up here, considering Cebu's personnel here tonight. So perhaps the reason why Aguilas is doing so well is because of that particular knowledge.
As Peña's shot is off but had a lot of power, he would have liked that attempt to be a bit closer to what he took earlier at the start of this game.
You can see that on the replay. You gotta respect Peña's hustle here tonight. That's the second shot from distance he's attempted. Clearly not afraid to take those chances. This second attempt not as close as the first one, but for sure he's gonna take that again.
Justin Peña's been able to fit well into this midfield of the Aguilas, particularly in the second half of this season. Corsame from Kapawa. Our captain's going for it. Apple clip down low though.
Classic captain on captain foul here tonight. And both of these captains have been highly effective for their respective teams this entire season, if you could recall, Claudio. And from the midpoint to the latter stages of the first round, Papu Corsame was regularly on the score sheet for Cebu FC. A massive point or a massive factor in getting Cebu out of that slow start to the year.
I did say our two captains this evening are fullbacks, but you have Papor Corsame playing wing today here for Coach TGR. Corsame won the foul. Sent this one in. Not the best of deliveries. Is it a coincidence that it was cleared earlier by Talarok? It's to no avail here. Execution from Corsame, letting him down.
Cebu so far have been unable to find their groove offensively. Aguilas have been just cutting off all passing lanes, making them uncomfortable in building up plays. Cebu needs to find a way to play around that, or at least tighten their passes up together to make something count, or to string a full attack, to make the most out of their chances. Because so far, Aguilas has been running away with the possession here.
Tete gets this. We'll play it to Peña. Yamamoto was calling for it. Gets a good hello from Kapawa.
How about that tackle? Kapawa just absolutely muscling the ball out of the possession there, knocking it out of bounds.
Don't just think that Cebu are a defensive team. They are also a physical team. That's why we also call them the not-so-gentle giants. I did get the unofficial approval of Mr. Tassi himself for that nickname of the team. And they brought that to the ASEAN level again, given they played in the Shopee Cup, which is the AFF Club Championships, or the AFF Club Championship.
And speaking of the Shopee Cup there, Claudio, Rami Jaridi was one of the best goalkeepers in that competition this season.
Absolutely. Isa Diallo stopping a tank in Daniel Gadia to get possession back. And Shiraoka to resume. Here's Villarreal, going back to his age, 37 years, according to his online profile.
Now, guys like Jaridi, guys like Villarreal, I like to call them ageless wonders, because they really don't play as what their age suggests. They have a lot of life in those legs, and a lot of power and experience with it too. Truly massive additions to their respective teams. A lot left in the tank and more to offer.
Yung nakakaliw kay Villarreal, it's his style of play. He's physical, athletic. Yes, I'm saying that for someone who's 37 years young. He's able to do it every game. Yamamoto is no good from the mark. Off camera, coach being in frustration. Just turns and takes off his cap. Or let's put it this way also with Jaridi and Villarreal. The battle of the Titos. Para sa perspektibo ng mga Pinoy, syempre. Because it is the Philippines Football League. Takasu will play it long. So we have a whistle somewhere here to send the way back to the Aguilas.
Well, Claudio, in the world of football, of course, you'll have a wonder kid here and there. But how about a wonder unk? And we got a couple of them out here in Jaridi and Villarreal. Truly living up to their standards as dependable and ever reliable.
Tawag dyan, he's my cool tito. Well, Villarreal was our highlight player in this game. Let's also talk about Jaime Rosquillo, of course. He's been playing that midfield role as of late. Yes, they've been able to rescue draws in scenarios where you could have argued Cebu should have put the wins away. But he is bringing that midfield stability. Ibig sabihin, first, he knows what he's doing. He's able to execute, because the collapse of any midfield, if that happens, would often fall on the back of the central midfielder. So Rosquillo has been able to adjust to that role, which is a step above or ahead of his usual center back. Pinaangat siya.
That's also a lot of faith from Coach TGR's side to deploy Rosquillo in a more advanced position. I mean, keep in mind then Cebu has a lot of players in the center back department. So if you can put Rosquillo in a more advanced position, that could be a chance there. Intercepted just in time, shut down completely. Corsame there had a chance, but captain Yet again, Richard Talarok shutting it down. Sorry to cut it off there, Claudio, but what a defensive play that was.
There's the matchup brewing there between the two. Richard Talarok and Corsame.
That was perhaps Cebu's best chance so far in the 17th minute of the game. Completely shut out by Richard Talarok.
And you have this corner that will be taken. Coach TGR made a last-minute change. Had him play it short to Brose. Kapawa's cross. Peña versus Corsame. Papo gets it to Brian Villanueva. He'll boot it long. But the flag is raised though for Brose.
But yes, Claudio, heading back earlier to the point about Jaime Resquillo, if you play him as a center back, he can be deployed as a ball-playing defender, starting possessions from the defensive line. But now he's playing as a 6. He's responsible now for linking the defense straight to the midfield and, of course, to the forwards by using his ability to play accurate balls or accurate passes to his forward men.
Other than that, while defending, because we know that Cebu are a very rigid team, you could say you have an extra defender with Jaime Resquillo. I'm not saying that just because he's the 6, because we know he has that defender background. No surprise, of course, when you talk about Resquillo, that he's from Barotac Nuevo, Iloilo, hotbed for football here in the country. That long list of names, of course. The kababayans of Resquillo. People also from that area of Iloilo, Barotac Nuevo. The likes of Martini Rain, Joven Bedek, who did play for Kaya in our previous game this evening. "19 minutes done and dusted right here. You have Aguilas UMAK in all white. They're playing from right to left. And you have Cebu FC, the Gentle Giants, in all red. They're behind the ball, playing from left to right. Alongside Elizabeth, this is Claro Manzano. Cebu trying to chase the 3rd spot in the standings. The Aguilas looking to chase number 5. And Jaridi just gets this forward ball from Kira Yamamoto, who would oftentimes, or who would come off the bench most of the time.
Reckless tackle there. 2-footed. He's lucky to not be carded by that.
Not often you see Palpalato put a foot wrong, we will say. Going back also with that previous meeting between Cebu and the Aguilas, tandaan nga natin, Cebu were able to escape because the Aguilas got a late penalty. Obviously, it was denied because the score ended 1-0 in favor of the Gentle Giants.
But results like that are more or less what you'd expect when you put together two hard-nosed defensive teams who have a reputation of being disruptors, having a reputation of not making it easy for their opponents to score on them or to just get into the flow of their own game. So I'd say a goalless draw might very well be a possibility here. But of course, considering the neutral's point of view, of course you want a bit more goals here and there.
At the rate this is going, we could expect something between our teams. But going back, it was Jesse Semblante who saved that penalty in Cebu's 1-0 win versus the Aguilas last March 22 over at the Dynamic Herb Borromeo Sports Complex in Cebu. Quite a deep goalkeeping roster right here. Cebu consistently rotated Ceniza and Semblante to back up Rami Jaridi. Almost a high ball from Diallo. Referee Chris Mark Nanyola blew his whistle there, gave the shake of his head. A close one there. A high boot almost getting Kadya.
That's a concerning call. He did not make contact with Gadi at all.
But it is a high boot, as we know. We were also talking about this with Natasha in one of our previous games. Last game day. The high boot does not hit, but you're threatening danger in that situation. Studs up. There's that threat already. As I've mentioned with Natasha also, I do recall watching grassroots football. You see players put the boot above the knee. Referees will already signal for the high boot. They were teaching safety, but you see Kore, who was down. It's the foot 30 ankle that he is favoring.
That was a crunching tackle by Babukar Diallo. He got all ball there, but the strength and the power that he used to dispossess Marius Kore, ultimately knocking him to the ground and causing him some pain here. I think we can see that on the replay. Dodong Villarreal missed the ball, but look at that tackle. Absolutely crunching. But then again, Babukar Diallo is known for being one of the hardest tacklers in the Philippines Football League. If you see him running straight at you, you got to brace your ankles.
Or run away.
Or run away, exactly.
Kore is okay. You did see some concerned looks though from Barish Tassi and Mr. Or Tassi. Barish also served as the team's captain for a number of years. Kore, Korsame, surrounded, was held on to by Richard. Papu lost the angle. Taladok just giving his all. And it's a superb stop here. But Gadi just stopping the counter. You love it here. You love the spirit from the two. High fives, the shake of a hand. That's what competition is all about.
That's exactly what you'd love to see here. Nothing but respect. Two captains going right at each other, giving it all their best. Trickeration here by Papu Korsame, but Richard Talarok says no. He shuts that down completely. Beautiful sequence there.
There was a high boot from Abu C. And so there's a whistle against him. That's why Timoshi Shiraoka will continue this for them. He just ended up knocking this one forward to his teammate Bubakar Diallo. Let's take a look.
There it was, yeah, a high boot at a very dangerous position to Richard Tete ducked his head there, so I could understand the call, yes.
There's a close chance for Cebu on the counter. We are mainly seeing the Aguilas dictate the run of play. Abu C connecting with Papu. Return ball. Korsame showing us that futsal background. The man from Tondo, Manila. So Korsame plays for Cebu FC. The team obviously based in Cebu. The only team to be based outside of Luzon, you will say, in terms of operations. Korsame is a Manileño. So he gets to play at home rather. Villanueva couldn't get it back. Somehow they secured it. Rose, I beg your pardon, but there was the support from Villanueva. Here's Rosquillo now. He'll look for options. Abu C dropping down to support. Diallo will drive it for them. Richard Tete. The switch of play. Yamamoto. He has Palpalatok to join him too. Gives it to him. Low cross from Brian, no good. Brose. Here's the touch as they get it to Korsame. Fantastic from Kore to get it to him. Let's carry on with that Korsame-Richard Talarok matchup. Papu's ball though, unable to cause any trouble. He'll have to come up with something magnificent or something of high quality to test Timoshi Shiraoka.
But you can see the idea that Papu Kursame had there. Try to float across into the box, but unfortunately Marius Kore was being marked and there was no spare man on the left wing. That made it an easy interception there for Timoshi Shiroka. But you can see Cebu growing in confidence. They're getting into the flow of the play, getting more passes on point. So slowly but surely, they're starting to tip the balance in their favor.
You're seeing Aguilas dictate play. They're using Shiroka as the extra man at the back. As expected, or no surprise, you have Cebu pouncing with counter-attacking football. Close one, but not quite here. Rami Jaridi approving of that effort from his center back in Ochiai. Nearing the 30th minute already in this game. So you're saying Cebu's getting some momentum here, but is it even between the two, just trading blows?
I think you said it the best earlier before the game started there, Claudio. It's a game of Marquez versus Mayweather.
We did talk about that off air. Counter punchers.
That's the thing. They're throwing counter punches at each other, but at the same time, they're ducking those counter punches. So the attacking intent is there, but both of them have been able to come away from it unscathed. So it's incredibly even here tonight. That's why it's going to come down to the finest of margins. So hopefully, if we see it by the end of the game or the late stages of the game, someone's got to give.
Hence, no mistakes in this game, as we've said in the pregame. Tough, of course, but maybe you want to minimize the unforced errors, as we were saying. Kapawa gave us that no-look pass earlier. No-look, hindi tumitingin sa bola. Tumingin sa grandstand, actually. That happened in front of the panel. Brose, Villanueva, Abusi. Keep it to the left with Brose. Tries to play Kore, taking on Villarreal. Was there a clearance? We saw the ball rattled around, but Dodong is going to get booked. He was showing resentment to that call. That's not good with your hard-nosed center back who plays physical, getting into the books of referee Chris Mark Nanyola.
I didn't quite see the incident there that warranted the card. Well, we'll get to see that in a bit when we get a replay here.
We'll check with that with Derek Josh, of course, in Renzi. But we have the corner in a bit also.
See the replay there. Dodong Villarreal muscling the ball away from Marius Kore.
This was the clearance. It rattled off. It's not the arm, but it eventually became a corner kick for the Gentle Giants. Cebu are a physical team. That's also the case with the Aguilas. So which physical team will outmuscle the other in an instance like this? The ball's whipped in. The crowd getting into that one. Both sides saying it's their ball, but it becomes a Cebu corner on the other side.
It's very concerning to have one of your toughest defenders in Dodong Villarreal already having a yellow card this early in the game, because that would mean if you want him to last the full game, he's going to have to pump the brakes. Abusi getting contact on that ball from the corner, wasn't able to turn it goalwards. And I believe that was Issa Diallo who was able to get that ball out of bounds and result in another corner.
Hold on, I saw Abusi swing his arm also, the second motion. He's gonna have a word with our referee. Not just Abusi. It's Richard Tete. Both receiving final warnings. Ochiai told by Chris Mark Nanyola to back off. They're close to getting yellows, but it's the usual pettiness inside a goalkeeper box. And you see Korsame run from the midfield to give an extra option. And it's just met by Shiraoka. Thought about triggering the counter quickly. Richard gets this one from Boubacar Diallo. Yes, you have the Diallos, but I remember checking. They are not related. Now he's a Diallo shifted to the upfront role. Peña, close but not quite. And Jaime Rosquillo getting pushed to the turf. "13 minutes away here from additional time, and we are still goalless. Momentum as of late with Cebu, especially with those two corners. Ochiai, Gadia. Gadia's floored by Tete. That is why it will be a corner. Set pieces piling up for the Gentle Giants. And just to add, of course, with what I mentioned with Coach Bing Cebu being Cebu FC's coach in their inaugural roster, Daniel Gadia and Papu Korsame, who were players who were also part of that squad. Close one. Shiraoka just taps it out of the top corner. It may have to be one of those masterclass performances from Shiraoka. He wants more from his defense. Too close for comfort, Ed.
You can see Villarreal just ball watching there, but Shiraoka just in time, tapping the ball, flying over the net. Frustrated with his defenders in that attack. He wants to see more. He wants more help there.
It's another corner. Rosquillo. That took a bounce, but it's off target. Dangerous balls as of late from Brose.
If Cebu keeps up this pace, eventually one of them is bound to connect. It's now up to Aguilas to stop that momentum and regain control of the game here.
Boubacar Diallo, Dodong Villarreal, and Shiraoka being heated. They're just trying to tell the other to step up, I presume. They were chatting with Boubacar Diallo. Now it's resumed by the Japanese keeper.
I gotta tell you, Claudio, I love what I'm seeing. Tensions are flaring up. The intensity is increasing. Somebody's gotta want it more. And right now, it's looking like Cebu.
Ganun talaga pag championship round game. Cartwheel push. Kira Yamamoto. Ryan Villanueva with the big boy tackle. Not clean though, according to our referee. Is Villanueva going to get booked? That's the case for the former Toloy defender who's made a home here with the Gentle Giants, or the not so gentle Giants because of that last spell.
So now, both teams are level in terms of yellow cards, both to their respective defenders.
That could open things up also here in what has been a nip and tuck game. Let's check who's going to take this one for the Aguilas. Coach Bing's not happy though because his boys look tentative. I am speculating. Here's Palpalatok, an option to send it forward. He's the one who created that chance, but in this instance, it's Yamamoto. Off a Gentle Giant.
You have a man down in the Cebu box. It appears to be Abu C.
Yes. This is not good. Most likely he got his head hit.
Slow to get up the ground here, Abusi. It appears to be serious. We'll see that here on the replay. There he is, Abusi. I believe he took an elbow to the face from Richard Tete when Tete headed the ball away. That's not a pretty sight to see.
Time continues to tick as we are nearing the 45th minute, and we will head over to stoppage time. We are still goalless. One of the closest chances in the game, we will see. It's courtesy of Justin Peña. He also had that moment where Rami Jaridi had to punch the ball out.
So far, the game plan for the Aguilas, they need to regain that intensity that they displayed in the first 15-20 minutes of the game when they put Rami Jaridi to work early in that spell. They had a lot of chances. Unfortunately, I think only one of them were really on target. But if they could get those chances again, that would give them the confidence that they need to get back into the game and stop these Cebu chances. Since it's been a tale of two halves within this first half. The first half, the first 15 or 20 minutes was all Aguilas, able to shut out Cebu. And then from that point on, it's been the opposite.
Play resumes with that drop ball. Stete to bring it up. Pressure is mounted on Jibrila. He's been quiet also in the latter stages of this first 45. Yamamoto. Peña will return it to Kira. Fake the cross. It's Peña who'll drive it. Went straight to Corre. Lovely here. Will this lead to a successful opportunity? Not in this instance though, as they send this one out. Gadia to Corsame. Both just getting the ball at the same time. Tete circled around, found an option in Richard Talarok. Cart. Palpalatok from Peña. You have Cebu inviting pressure, as you see. Isa Diallo. Corsame. Will Cebu unleash? Brian Villanueva scans. It's that momentum remaining with the Gentle Giants. Oh, no whistle here. I believe Corre wanted something, but he was held on to by Dodong Villarreal. It was looking promising the moment he chested it.
You can see Cebu going all in on sitting in deep. A whistle blown here. Rami Jaridi on the ground appears to have suffered a non-contact incident here.
Concerns you, of course. Let's remember, Jaridi was also bothered by injuries over the course of the season. You have Jesse Semblante who's being called to warm up just in case.
It's not a pretty sight. He's favoring that right knee. And like you said, Calado, he's been out for quite some time this season, possibly due to the same discomfort that he's feeling now. But then again, non-contact incidents like this are one of the most concerning things you could see in sports. So hoping it's nothing serious, and of course, best case scenario, he gets to complete the rest of this game.
We still have 4 minutes and change remaining in the first half for a potential breakthrough goal. This matchup between coaches will step up even further if we end the first half goalless.
It's been nothing short of a tactical battle here so far. CEBU going all in sitting deep. They are no strangers of playing that tactic. They've been deploying that in some games in the PFL today, this season, and of course in the Shopee Cup as well. So this is definitely something that they're comfortable doing. It's up to Aguilas now to see how they can beat that low block and create opportunities for themselves.
But with play resuming, it's great to see that Rami Jaridi is okay to continue. Abusi is getting help though with what appears to be an injury on his head, so the Gentle Giants are playing 10v11 temporarily. From the looks of it, they're putting or doing what they can to ensure that Abusi could re-enter the game. Yamamoto got it here wide. Cart. Yamamoto shot blocked by a defender. But what's the call on the ground? But it's a foul versus the Aguilas at the end. And now we have Kapawa dropping maybe from the block that he got there to come up with the defensive stop.
See that on the replay, find out what happened there. There's Kapawa on your screen trying to receive the ball. Receives a shoulder from behind. I believe that was courtesy of Kira Yamamoto.
Kapawa's back on his feet and is okay to continue. Abusi also re-entered the game. Speaking of Abusi, he scored Cebu's lone goals in the Shopee Cup group stage. Cebu able to score 2 goals in that tournament that saw them play plenty of defensive football. Hence, you were mentioning Rami Jiridi's top performances for the Gentle Giants. Richard Talarok sent this one to safety though. He did not want to give possession deep.
Speaking of Rami Jaridi, if we take a look at Cebu's side of the pitch, it appears that both Jesse Semblante and Joseph Seniza are currently warming up, probably to keep them ready just in case they need to pull Rami Jaridi off the field.
Seconds away now from stoppage time. There you go, we just got the confirmation from our fourth official, Michael Parajas.
Interesting observation here, Cloud. In the last 10 or so minutes, neither team have been able to get into their groove because of how rough and tumble this game has turned into.
Both teams, or our teams, just knocking the other out of rhythm. Lovely ball though to Corsame. Got to go to the middle. Abusi to the right. Gets a touch. Sends it to the middle. Here's the stop. Gadia will get it to Rosquillo. Corsame again. Still in play. Gadia. Stop by Peña now. Chibrila to Cartalarok. He uses space to his advantage. Yes, Yamamoto wide. Back to Cart. He'll go for it. Lacking in power here though. Rami Jaridi just casually meets this one. Tells him to slow it down and calm down. Jibrila also connecting well there for the Aguilas in that moment.
But those are the chances that Aguilas are looking for. Pouncing on Cebu's mistake, trying to attack them on the counter. Unfortunately, the execution wasn't so clean. Talaroca lacking power in that shot. But if they can nail those chances moving forward, like Cebu here now, Cruzame on the ball.
The Gentle Giants favoring the right wing as of late. But we have two solid keepers again here on the pitch for us. Both teams, of course, will be visibly tense and unhappy heading into the dugout. As the neutrals love it, for obvious reasons. Peña, fantastic ball. Isa Diallo. Got a hello from Kadia. Cebu bringing out the not-so-gentle Giants card. Kadia just walks by. Let's have a look, Ed.
Now that we're approaching the second half, Cebu imposing their physicality now. If these Aguilas players are not feeling the fatigue from this game so far, they will feel it in the second half when Cebu decides to up the ante in terms of physicality.
Strange enough, I'm feeling the fatigue from this game, from the intensity.
But then again, we were expecting that heading into this game. Two rough and tumble teams going at it. Like that, exactly like that.
Chiai running into Boubacar Diallo. We expected a game like this, but it's just different when it hits you as the game goes on. The first half ends as we started. Goalless. But the Aguilas coaching staff surrounding fourth official Michael Barajas, they seem to be unhappy with that last spell with a number of their players getting floored. But it ends goalless at the half between Dynamic Herb Cebu FC and Aguilas UMAK. Catch you in a bit for our highlights and statistics.
Yeah, thanks so much, Ertuğrul Galeli. See you next time in the pitch. Thank you so much.
If you're in the Philippines, come out, come support the league, support your local players, come support the foreigners.
Thank you for support Manila Tigers, and next time ulit. Kung merong oras, punta kayo sa stadium. Thank you.
Thank you sa mga Mindiola, yung mga nanonood dyan, mga supporters, sa mga nanonood din sa YouTube.
Yeah, let them keep coming and supporting. We will make them proud.
Oh, thanks everyone and Wanta Gig fans and other things for coming and watching.
Sa lahat ng Kaya football fans, sana tuloy pa rin kayong sumuporta sa amin. Hindi lang sa Kaya fans, sana sa Philippine Football League dito, sana supportahan niyo po.
Tara, Cebu!
It's amazing here. We have to keep coming, keep supporting every club, every supporter. We have to go together.
To all my Mahalika family, yeah, thank you for the continuous support, everyone.
To the fans, I think this result is just for them. I think they are coming up to support us. I think we are giving all the best that we can so that they can come a little bit more.
Thank you all for coming. Hope to see you next game. Thank you.
We cannot go without the fans. We will always be there for them, to make them happy, to score, to win game week in, week out, so that they will be happy watching us and coming to the stadium. We want them to come out and support.
Hello, thank you for supporting Mindiola. Sana hindi kayo magsawang magsuporta sa amin. We train hard to get the last games.
All I can say to thank them for the support, the courage that they have been giving us, because they really believe in us, and we also have everything possible to give it back to them for what they deserve, and that is what we are trying to do. We always keep on fighting for them and give them the glory that they always want us to give them.
Hey there, what you drinking? 2 shots, let's pour it out. I know what you're thinking, but tomorrow won't come for us. This life that we're living, ain't never gonna give it up. Double shot for the gifted, and one more for us. There you go, drink it up. All this love in a cup. Yeah, we go slow, we go fast. Yeah, we can't get enough. We stay all day, all night, living in paradise. Remember, you don't get it twice. The time of your life. This is the time of your life. Remember, you don't get it twice. The time of your life. Don't look at the past, no, we're not going that way. Oh, now make it last, make it last to the break of day. No matter what people say, live life in a fast lane. Double shot for the gifted.
Currently at the half in our matchup between Dynamic Herb CEBU FC and AGUILAS UMAK, and it has been nip and tuck here. Both teams just not budging. We've seen a lot of physicality, goalless, but the action is there, Ed.
You can see that from the highlights as well. This was early on in the game. Jacob Pena having a couple of these chances from range, really putting Rami Jaridi to work, testing him from distance. Look at that fingertip save. I believe that was one of the 2 shots on target that AGUILAS was able to have. But yes, it's been nothing but a hard-nosed defensive game from both teams. Both of them having some opportunities to take chances on offense, but more often than not, both teams have been able to negate each other's attacks by either intercepting the passing lanes or just by completely shutting down offenses through pure physicality, which is pretty much the name of the game here tonight.
Both sides have been physical, but with the way this first half ended in particular, CEBU being the more physical team, as we know. There's also a bit of that scare earlier, Rami Jaridi going down with a non-contact injury. Moshishira Oka similarly also had to come up with that top corner save. Kartolarok's shot also denied right here. This matchup, Korsame Talarok. Not in this instance though.
Korsame has been doing a wonderful job running the show down the right wing for CEBU FC. But look at the possession stats here, Claro. It's clear from the statistics alone in the first half, it's been a very evenly matched game. CEBU enjoying a bit more of the possession, but AGUILAS having a bit more shots on target, 5 shots compared to AGUILAS' 6. Both teams having 3 shots on target, but AGUILAS, look at the number of fouls committed, 10 in comparison to CEBU's 6. So 6 fouls by itself is already indicative of a very physical performance. So clearly a representation of what we've all been seeing here tonight.
And the AGUILAS staff actually went up to our match officials. I believe they are contesting a number of non-calls wherein CEBU FC played their not-so-gentle Giants card. Hence, we did see a staff member get booked. But with that, we are goalless again, heading into the second 45 of this game. It's about halftime adjustments and execution. Whatever went on in their respective dugouts will need to be executed. Which team, of course, will come out with that stronger start, given what we just mentioned.
And interestingly, Claudio, both teams appear to be walking out here into the second half with the same set of players that they've been using in the first half. So perhaps we could see more of the same?
Let's hold on first. We have our 4th official, Michael Barajas, at the half line. So that's Kaito Asano coming on for Abu C.
And what a change that is. Bringing on Kaito Asano, Cebu's top scorer in the Philippines Football League. He has 11 goals to his name this season. Bringing him on in the second half, looking for that extra bit of firepower to their attacking line. That would mean Marius Kore would be dropping back into the midfield. For the first half, Marius Kore was actually starting up top with Abu C supporting as the number 10.
Or they could play together in that 4-4-2. We'll find out over the first few minutes of this second half. Both teams just setting up for this second 45 a bit slower than usual. It's Chibrila to kick off this one as we just had our teams exit the dugout. Now that change for Kaito Asano is confirmed with the kickoff whistle being blown. And that is only the second time that I've seen the ball get cleared over the grandstand of the Rizal Memorial Stadium. The other was in the AFC Challenge League between Pricanrix Vaireng and Manila Digger. Played back by Bupakar Diallo. Going back to Kaito Asano, yes, he is their top scorer. He scored his 11th goal of the season last Wednesday in that comeback draw versus Wantagig. Get this. He was only picked up by Cebu in the second half of the season, and he's their leading scorer outright.
Exactly. Kaito Asano joined in the winter transfer window after the departures that they've faced from when the first round ended. So what a massive pickup he's been. Not only does he have 11 goals to his name, he also has 6 assists. That's 17 goal contributions in 14 games.
Tete. We also talked about it in previous games. Got Asano's brother. They play in the 2 Bundesliga, but just to add also, there's a point in time where Kaito Asano's brother was teammates with Gert Holtman in Bochum. Here's the Gadia throw-in. That's Justin Peña. Do you believe both teams are staying the course, Ed, or bigger? Or are they making drastic changes coming out of the locker?
I'd say Cebu is looking to take a bigger gamble offensively. You could see it there, Shiroka. Timely interception to catch the ball here, but yes, as I was saying, by bringing on Kaito Asano in the second half, they're looking to play a bit more offensively or have a bit more sharpness in terms of their attacking play. For Aguilas, I'd say that they're electing to stay the course, try to play more counter-attacking football the exact same way that they played against Manila Digger.
What was interesting in the victory of the Aguilas over Manila Digger just a few games ago was they played the pace to Manila Digger. How often do you say you get to win when you play the game to the pace of your opponents? Here's Yamamoto. Forced that one from Gadia. It was poked away. Asano was getting involved as they cleared it. Shiraoka. Great move from him earlier, right after getting the stop. Instead of distributing, he looked to the back. He saw that Joshua Brose was right there, lurking, hoping to get the ball if he put it down. Here's Dodong. Full speed from Brose.
There goes the league's favorite wonder unk, playing from the back yet again.
Yamamoto out wide. He'll try to take on Ochiai. Peña the turn, gave it to the other side. And this is no good. They couldn't find the near post. The Aguilas' top scorer wants that opportunity back.
Look at this. Sharper attacking play here in the second half by Aguilas. Issa Diallo, prime position. He scored so many goals from an angle like that. Unfortunately, just not able to get enough curl on the ball. Surely if he did, Rami Jaridi wouldn't be able to stop that.
Well, shots on target will have to be of quality if you want to get past Rami Jaridi. We mentioned his CV again, the former Tunisian international. He's played in the Club World Cup. Speaking of World Cup, let's go to the FIFA World Cup, not the Club World Cup. Plenty of interesting new rules here, where a player, for example, if they're getting subbed off, has to leave the pitch immediately, or the player who is coming on for them will have to wait for about a minute before they could enter. That may curb time wasting. Controversy too, I reckon. Yamamoto got to release it. We've said what we said earlier about Rami Jaridi. Palpalato got to intercept that ball from Proce. Richard Tete will survey. He'll take on the swarm of gentle giants. There's a fall here. There's calls for a penalty from the crowd. No call from Chris Mark Nanyola.
You gotta love that intensity by Aguilas. In the past 2-3 minutes alone, they've upped the ante to by a significant margin, abandoning the slower pace that they've played in the first half. Decided to take it to Cebu now.
Here comes Asano. Proce. The shot ricocheted off of Palpalato, who wanted to flag up earlier. And it's superb from Shiraoka. Denying the corner. Slid to make it a throw-in instead.
And how about this development, Claro? Instead of Aguilas versus Cebu, it's turning in to Jaridi versus Shiraoka.
Well, we declared in a number of good games for Timoshi Shiraoka that it's Shiraoka time for Jaridi. He is the Dynamic Borromeo Sports Complex grandstand, as we've said. As Yamamoto holds on to his face, concerned Mario Kore looks on from their last play.
Just another incident in the rough and tumble match we've had here so far. As we can see by the scores table, Leo McKeeling warming up, preparing to check in for Cebu.
But first, Cebu will execute this corner. Rosquillo soared up, but there is a foul from the looks of it. Let's remember, we also have the upcoming window for national teams. The Philippines will play a Tri-Nations friendly series with Guam and Myanmar right here at the same venue, the Rizal Memorial Stadium. And Leo McKeeling will come in for Proce.
Proce, he's put in an effective shift here tonight. A true workhorse running up and down the left wing. Hasn't had much chances, but perhaps that's where McKeeling comes in. Again, Cebu betting on more attacking edge, attacking firepower.
Leo McKeeling also a workhorse too, as we know. What he'd deliver with Ateneo in the UAAP, he'd also bring here with Cebu FC. Korsame almost kept it. Richard Tete. Yamamoto. Couldn't get it to Tete. Villanueva had to block that one because he couldn't get the clearance. Peña. Boubacar Diallo. This is what we're talking about, unforced errors. But they give possession to Cebu at the back. But thankfully, it's not in the attacking half or in the attacking third. And I will say I was able to notice this not just with our recent play, but with the zoomed in camera also. Richard Tete bringing in the Robert Lopez Mendy-like basketball shorts. If you will see. Lopez Mendy did play for the Aguilas last season, when you recall. He gave a struggling team that locker room presence and offense. Bosquillo will knock it wide. Palpalato got to stop. Peña. Tete. Off ball. Tete was hit by Corsame. Referee gave advantage. Yamamoto will take on Villanueva. There's Asano to help. Got to cross it. Stopped though by Ochiai. Now here's Asano. He'll boot it to Makiling. There was the right intention though.
Now Aguilas, they've been enjoying more of the possession here early in the second half, but still they're finding it difficult to break through this Cebu low block. Then again, that is one of Cebu's specialty right there. They're a very hard team to beat when they're so defensively stubborn. So Aguilas needs to be creative here.
Easier said than done, of course. Creativity is that tough task mentally. I believe this is a warning for the play earlier, but referee Chris Mark Nanyola did give advantage. You see Coach Bing at the bottom left of your screen, sharing some words with fourth official Michael Barajas over that. Tandaan nga natin, an Aguila staff member did get booked with a yellow. I am suspecting some explicit language from that chat right at the start of the halftime break. Yamamoto's been lively on the wing as much as he started this one. Chibrila, no good in that instance. Back and forth we go. And it's a foul against Peña here.
Yet again, Aguilas just really struggling to break down this Cebu low block. They've been receiving the harsher end of the calls too as well, much to the chagrin of their fans and the coaching staff.
That's a taste of Cebu's hard-nosed style of play, as we know. And who would have thought? We are only 12 minutes into this second half between Cebu and the Aguilas. Cebu in all red, the Aguilas in all white. Here's the clearance. No whistle there. Ochiai climbed the ladder. He did climb the back of Gibrila. Diallo. Cartalarok. Gives it to Palpalatok. Reaches it. He'll whip it in. And the cross is sent back to the side. No corner there. Asano collected. Corre giving a dose of some Cebu FC. Or also Dodong Villarreal. That's the Aguilas version. Marius is down. They'll play on. Now Yamamoto is also decked. Brian Villanueva earlier told him to get up.
I tell you, these Aguilas players are pretty much running into a brick wall here every time they're trying to advance the ball. Take a look at that incident that caused Marius Corre to go to ground. It appears that he's taken yet another elbow to the back of his neck or just to his back as a whole. But yes, this Cebu defense not making life easy whatsoever for the Aguilas UMAK players. But they do have a chance with a set-piece opportunity here.
this one an opportunity to send a service. Definitely a long shot, literally, if they are going for a goal. Not the best of execution there from Yamamoto. Talarog tried to go for it. Korosami said no. In effect, it becomes a corner. And with the way Cebu started or ended to be precise, when you refer to the first half, now it's the Aguilas sending things the other way. We're about to wrap up the first 15 minutes of the second 45, which is always critical in implementing your halftime huddle. Possession just going the way now of Aguilas UMAK. Alpalatok thought about it. Tete, he can play also in the midfield to add to defense. Rami Jaridi would have wanted options to start a counter.
Nearly disastrous there by Jaridi. It's not every day that you see him completely fumble a ball there, but luckily no Aguilas player was behind him to make use of that opportunity. But to your point, yes, to his frustration, it looks like he wanted his defenders to run forward to immediately kickstart those patented Cebu counterattacks.
They get this one relatively in transition. Villanueva versus Yamamoto. They have that score already from earlier.
But just going back to your point earlier, Claudio, Aguilas enjoying the majority of the possession here in the second half, but keep in mind, Cebu is just as comfortable playing defensively as they are moving forward.
Now it goes the way of the Gentle Giants. Is it going to be my turn, your turn? We will secure. For a return ball from Korosami. Rupakar Diallo. The card calling for it. But it's Diallo to Diallo. Isa. How often does Daniel Gadia hit the pitch? Diallo will drive it. The shot. They did see it to soft target because it came off an opposing defender.
But this is better. This is much better by Aguilas UMAK. They're starting to really connect on those long passes, getting the ball where it needs to be in very dangerous situations and dangerous angles too. Fortunately for them, a deflection on the latest Aguilas shot resulted in a corner for them. Could this set piece opportunity be the opportunity that they need to finally unlock the Cebu defense?
They've been pouring it in now. It's all about fine-tuning. Flores' clearance only goes far as Palpalatok. Here's the ball. Header is definitely over.
Just got the angle wrong on that header. But Aguilas, for sure, are very satisfied with the amount of chances that they've been having. They're just looking to clean it up a bit and get more shots on target to really test Rami Jaridi.
It's with Diallo. Tete flicked it back. Peña trying to go for Gibrila. And it's Jaridi once more. He'll volley it. Only goes as far as Palpalatok again. Cebu being pushed down once more. Diallo will send it. Yamamoto! That's the breakthrough! It's in the 64th. the door, as we mentioned, and they finally get it.
It's a beautiful play by Aguilas UMAK. Finally, those chances that they've had for so long have finally been converted off a masterful play capped off by Kira Yamamoto, who's been so active this entire game, getting into the right spots. This time resulting in a goal. Take a look at this replay here. Running the ball down the wing, a great dummy by Jibrilla, who was able to pass off the ball. But Issa Diallo made that goal with a right run down the left wing. Jibrilla passing it off to a trailing Yamamoto. Team chemistry in play here. Diallo knowing where Jibrilla was going to be, and Jibrilla knowing where Yamamoto was at that moment in time to convert and penetrate that Cebu defense. 1-0 to the Aguilas UMAK.
Talk about getting your assist with a back heel. Your Jibrilla. Akira Yamamoto reaping the faith shown in him. He was given the start. Gets them a goal. And let's look at this also. Cebu did sweep the Aguilas in their first two round encounters. The Aguilas have a chance to avenge that. In our previous game, just for context, Kaya FC Iloilo defeat Wantagig 3-1. Wantagig swept Kaya in the first two rounds. Counter-attack time now. They are looking for that insurance goal. The Aguilas want to surf that wave. That shot is over ambitious from Issa Diallo.
Aguilas feeling the confidence now. Looking for that insurance goal, of course, because you are never safe with a 1-goal lead as long as you are playing Cebu FC. But going to your point earlier, Claudio, yes, the Philippines Football League is home to a lot of random results here and there. with Wantagig sweeping Kaya in the regular season in rounds 1 and 2. But now Kaya beating them 3-1 in what turned out to be a fantastic game for them. So keeping that in mind, we are definitely sure that this game is far from over, especially when Cebu is 1 goal down.
Here's the series of changes now. We have Combe and Kalukaran who will enter for Kailu Jibrilla.
Number 24, Kailu Jibrilla is replaced by number 79, David Combe.
Richard Talarok making way for... That's going to be JV Kalukaran.
Is correct.
But of course, big respect to Richard Talarok and the performance that he's put in tonight, single-handedly shutting down Papu Korsami's runs down the right wing earlier in the first half.
They did shut down each other, mind you, respect to the two captains today.
It was pure captain-on-captain action there. Of course, Richard Talarok to make way for fresher legs in JV Kalukaran. So hopefully now for Aguilas, if Kalukaran can keep up that same tempo that Talarok was able to set earlier tonight.
It's a like-for-like change. Kalukaran and Talarok both fullbacks. Rosquillo with the awkward landing. He got a bit of a bump on his way up. Asano. Ochiai. But if you are Cebu, do you have to be concerned, because that's another game where you're caught playing catch up. Yes, rescuing a draw is something, but is there that concern with 3 draws that have you playing catch up? Peña's on the pitch though.
it's definitely going to cost Cebu for the remainder of the championship round. Because keep in mind, their only main rival here for the remainder of the season is Kaya FC Iloilo, who won their game earlier tonight. So with the result as it is, Cebu will sit firmly in 4th place, if I'm not mistaken.
That is correct, because you have Kaya FC Iloilo with 48 points. Cebu below at 4. The Gentle Giants want to grab the maximum tonight, which is 3, of course. That will get them within 1. Because if that happens, and you have certain results on Wednesday, that could set up a match between Kaya and Cebu, with the winner getting 3rd place on the last game day.
And that's important because Cebu and Kaya are in the race to determine who is the best of the rest in the Philippines Football League, who will get the right to earn that 3rd place. And here comes Aguilas again.
Yamamoto is wide. He is the goal scorer this evening. He'll take on Orchiay. Dribbling around. Tried to push his luck. David Coombe felt he was in a better spot to stretch the defense.
Bit of a heat check there for Kira Yamamoto. It's good that he's feeling confidence, but of course, got to remember that he has other options there. Coombe was in a much better position to make full use of that possession here.
We are currently at the 70th minute, and it's 1-0 thanks to Kira Yamamoto. And a big thank you for joining us on the Philippines Football League's YouTube page. Alongside Ed Saba, this is Claro Manzano. I'm not starting to like, but I always liked this format from day one. I said it was going to be good when the season started last year. It's the first time that the Philippines Football League is implementing this breakout format where you have the top 6 teams who will get grouped together. They play in an extra round robin. And you have the bottom 5 teams who play in the consolation round. In that instance, the highest ranked team could only go as high as 7th though. These games, it's almost like knockout football as much as we are in the league. JV Kalukaran trying to put the clamps on Leo Makiling. Kalukaran gets it. Enya from Tete.
But I agree in your opinion on the tournament, on the league format here, Claudio. On the first day that it was unveiled or introduced to the public, I was very much on board with the idea. If you see how it affected the leagues in Cambodia and in Korea, it's always delivered high impact football because it would ensure that the teams in the classification round and the championship round are pretty much on even terms in terms of skill and quality. As a result, you have amazing games like this one.
And with that also, with the tournament being that endurance race or long distance race, the moment it becomes the 3rd round or the championship round, you conclude the long distance race with a sprint. And that's what we are seeing. It is the 3rd to the last game day, mind you. It's the 2nd to the last weekend though, because our next set of games here will be played on Wednesday, right here at the Rizal Memorial Stadium. And exactly 7 days from now, that's on May 30, we are going to end and conclude the 25-26 Philippines Football League season. Here's Palpalato. We've seen plenty of those. Giallo tried to go for the scissors. Peña got to clean up.
If you're Cebu, you have to be a bit concerned there. Papalatok is having a bit too much freedom running down the right wing. I'm not quite sure who's supposed to be marking him, if it's supposed to be Asano or Villanueva, but neither of them have been able to track Palpalatok. As a result, he's been able to fire those crosses a bit more often than what you'd like.
Let's look back at the panel and community predictions for this one. Chino predicted 2-0. That's Chino Sator of PFL database. He said that Cebu would defeat Aguilas by that scoreline, 2-0. Checo Cordero said 1-0 for Cebu over the Aguilas. PFL Bible Callum Thompson said 3-1 for Cebu also. ESBF did say 1-all between these two. Nobody predicting a win for the Aguilas. But we still have about 16 or 15 minutes remaining in this game. You also love how the crowd's getting into it.
These are exactly the kind of games that you need to display on a regular basis to attract more people and more eyes, of course, to the Philippines Football League. And in terms of the community panel predictions, PFL Bible and, of course, ESBF so far on track. Their predictions still likely to happen. But as for Diego and Chino, no, we can go ahead and disregard those.
Whipped in by Yamamoto. Villarreal. Not so sure about the intention. Peña's shot was blocked. That's how sound the Gentle Giants are in defense. They'll just effortlessly block your shots. Villanueva. He'll play it long. Will this be the moment? Kaito Asano gives it to Korsame. Wanted to pass it but had no option. David Coombe giving a push at Kaito Asano.
Again, Claro, it's those unforced errors that are costing Cebu dearly on offense. That was already a good play there to unleash Papo Korsame further into the Aguilas UMAK box, but again, nobody was running with him. He had nobody to pass back to. And now, as you can see on your screen, Julian Coombe gone to ground, as well as Peña.
That's right. But you have Nano Amita and Pedro De Paula who will enter the game in a bit. This was the play that enraged Coombe. Pushed Asano before falling to the pitch.
Discomfort on the left calf there. But as for what happened to Peña, you can still see that he's on the ground. He's had a very long night here. Could it be fatigue kicking in?
Could be the wear and tear also. It could also be from the physicality of this game taking its toll. So you have Pedro De Paula and Nano Amita who will enter in the bid of the Aguilas to control the midfield.
This is an unfortunate sight to see. You never like to see a player getting stretchered off, but Peña's night appears to be over. The substitution has been confirmed. He's currently coming off for Pedro De Paula, and Issa Diallo making way for Nano Amita. And it's good to see Nano back on the pitch. He hasn't had a very consistent season in terms of match fitness. More often than not, he's been coming off the bench.
He had to return from injury, so they were ramping him up by making him play these spot minutes here and there.
Captain's armband now being transferred to the #1 captain of the team, Nano Amita, looking to lead his boys on in terms of maintaining the lead and, of course, building upon it.
Pedro De Paula can only step on when Justin Peña is stretchered off. We hope that it is not as bad as it looks right here for Peña. He appears to be in a lot of pain.
Massive props to Peña, of course. He's brought the intensity from the first minute on. And, of course, like you said, Clara, the wear and tear of this game really taking a toll on him, coming up against such a physical team in Cebu FC. But yes, hopefully it's not as serious as it appears. But a worthy replacement, of course, in Pedro De Paula, who is known as well for his physicality. So that's a good matchup against Cebu here and for the remainder of the game.
The Aguilas also hopped on that social media trend of announcing players who are not available or who are not called up to the World Cup. With Pedro de Paula being Brazilian, the Aguilas announced that he was not in the roster of Brazil for the upcoming World Cup.
I was heartbroken. I was heartbroken, Claudio. I was really rooting for him to make it.
He loved the sense of humor also from the Aguilas media team.
They've been known to hop on some rather comedic trends earlier in the season as well, with the screenshot challenge, if you recall.
I can't remember that, but I remember Word on the Beat where they put Cartalarok.
They're a team that clearly knows how to have fun. And as of right now, they're having a bit of fun in terms of offense against a very stubborn Cebu defense.
He'll rather be on the attack, of course, in this instance because they are not giving Cebu any opportunities to put some shots on target. Shiraoka has been a spectator as of late, which is what you want from your goalkeeper. You do not want to play with fire and have your keeper put in the work.
The same cannot be said for Rami Jaridi, unfortunately.
You have to feel for Jaridi. He saw how frustrated he was when they conceded that goal.
Especially because the defense as a whole has been doing such a good job this entire game, only to have that momentary lapse that Aguilas was able to capitalize on. But then again, we knew this was going to be a game of fine margins. Could that be the margin that Aguilas needed to come away with the win?
Jaridi. Played forward by Takasu. De Paula, Tete, Palatok. I was today years old when I actually found out that Brandon Zambrano of Kaya is from San Diego, California. Where Brian Palatok is also from. Here's Kalukaran, now using a bit of that pace. With them being on the attack earlier, they didn't have to do much running. It's only now. We have Konate and Vitualia who are about to enter the game. Amita from Talarok. Coom. Hard returns it. Nano to JV Kalukaran. Nano. Just got that one to Leo Makiling. Two UAAP alumni going for it there. That's the case with Gadia. And still get it to Kore. Time is running out if you are Cebu. Remaining 8 minutes in stoppage time, going by quickly because the Gentle Giants are chasing the game. Here are the subs for Cebu this evening. Jorge will step off for Konate.
And that's Rosquillo coming off for Vitualia.
There you go.
I like these substitutions here, Clara. By putting on Konate and Vitualia, you're electing to use more pace to try to bring the ball faster up the pitch and to, of course, capitalize on the Aguilas defense, who you would say has been complacent.
They were able to get this one wide. Shiraoka staying warm. He rose up to this challenge.
Look at that opportunity there, just nodded ahead. Diallo, that could have been disastrous. Fortunately, it was just a bit wide. And now it's a corner for Cebu. They haven't had much of these in the past 30 minutes or so.
Headed by Amita. We have Vitualia, who is a fullback, but they would also put him in an attacking position, given his speed that you mentioned. It's another ball that was crossed in. All eyes are on the assistant referee, and he says it's a Shiraoka goal kick. Gokto Demirolu, one of Cebu's unused subs, getting the ball to Shiraoka in their bid to save time. And the Japanese goalkeeper will just let the time take as much as possible.
Now, Claudio, this is a very interesting point in the match. Considering Cebu equalized against Taguig in the 88th minute, we are pretty much entering Cebu time territory.
Oh, there you go. Or will it be Shiraoka time? Oh, the ball to Coom is overhit by Talarok. You have Yamamoto on the pitch.
Yamamoto, he's given everything that he has and more to help will his team to a one-goal lead here. Could it perhaps be another case of wear and tear taking effect on Yamamoto?
It's possible cramps. With any team in the lead, you'd also see them take opportunities to waste time. We are giving Kira Yamamoto, the Aguilas goal scorer this evening, the benefit of the doubt.
Approaching the 86th minute of this game. The latter stages of this game, of course. Cebu still have not been able to be as cohesive as they were in the first half, making a lot of unforced errors. As a result, they haven't been able to connect much on offense, and Aguilas has been able to read them like a book.
That's the momentum that you get when you score a goal. And that's momentum you could surf. Also confidence, let's say. Kira Yamamoto slowly gets off the pitch.
Golden opportunity now for Cebu. Yamamoto off the pitch. It's momentarily going to be an 11 versus 10. They need, if they're going to up the ante offensively, it has to be now. Papalato taking his time to restart play here. Perhaps buying enough.
Oh, this is a yellow card because he entered the pitch without permission.
Oh no.
He's supposed to go through the fourth official. The Aguilas with the intent of getting Yamamoto on. Because you don't want to be 11, you don't want to be going 11 v 10. But he gets a yellow right before stepping off.
Yamamoto jumped the gun there, but he eventually turned out to be substituted off the pitch in favor of Ibrahim Adamu, Aguilas' second leading goal scorer in the PFL this season.
Or was that something he also utilized to slow the game down for 5 seconds or even 10 seconds? Here's Cartelaro. Jaridi just got a tap. Amita. Tete took the shot. Villanueva got the block. Leo Makiling kept it in for a bit, but it's eventually out. It's going to remain with the Aguilas. The Gentle Giants with their backs against the wall once more.
Of course, Rami Jaridi clawing that ball out of midair. Nano had the right idea to find a trailer. Tete tried to get that shot off, but Vitualia with a timely tackle. You have to give props to Cebu. They are 1 goal down, but they are still hard to score against.
Less than 2 minutes remaining now until stoppage time.
Take a look at the clock here, Claudio. 88th minute, the same time Cebu scored against Taguig here. Could they replicate that here tonight? Kaito Asano on the ball.
This is something they need now. Horsame will launch the early cross. Kalukaran. Asano got the other side. I believe this came off of De Paula, so it's a corner kick. Konate's shot was stopped.
Find that on the replay there. What a ball by Corsame, intercepted by Caloocaran, but Asano able to clean it up and find a wide open Konate. Yes, that appears to be a deflection. Cebu now has a corner being taken by Papu Corsame. Better late than never, but they're finally showing some life on offense.
They got the ball quickly with Demirolu again, who's in the warm-up area. This is a virtual assist to the corner if it works out. Ochiai couldn't reach it. Boom! Villanueva off of Villarreal. Tete sends it to the side. Boom with the clearance. Cart got a touch, but it's out. And now Cebu with an opportunity to attack. My turn, your turn, as we've said.
Now, August, look at them frantically trying to get the ball away from their half.
This is why they put in players such as Nano Amit and Pedro De Paula to control the midfield. Cart shoots. Amita. Poked away by Corsame.
Held on to the ball. Now it's Cebu's turn again with the ball. They're running up the pitch again.
Back and forth action. Here we come. And we have 6 minutes. That is an eternity here.
I tell you, we did not see this back and forth action for the majority of the second half. These two teams have decided to leave it late. Back and forth we go. 6 minutes of additional time. That's forever if you're playing a team like Cebu.
The intensity and energy is there. The desperation. Kapawa is heated. Palpalato trying to calm him down. Here's David Coombe.
Find out in the replay here. Coombe trying to receive the ball. Went to ground a bit too easily there.
They have the signal from Chris Mark Nanyola to resume, but they'll play it short. Boubacar Diallo back to Coombe. It was a bit loose here. Konate and Coombe pumping. There was the stop. Counter-attack time now for Cebu, but can they get it? Not in this instance. It's in the safe feet of Shiraoka.
Shiraoka electing to slow down the game here. Sees Corsame coming. Smart move to buy your team as much time as possible here. So now we enter the 92nd minute. The door is slowly shutting down on Cebu FC.
Goalkeepers again have that ability to control the game further. We have Gokto Demirolu, who is close to entering the game. He did feature with Cebu in the AFC Cup, their first appearance on the continental club level. De Paula, Cart. 4 minutes remaining here in stoppage time. With Cebu staying deep. The Aguilas formation well stretched to make the defense work, so they have players with plenty of time on the ball. Cart got this one from De Paula. Amita. Coombe. Didn't go for it. We'll drive it in. Shot was no good. Here's the change we were expecting with Demirolu entering.
It appears that Kapawa's night is done. On comes Gokto Demirolu. Left it a bit late, but could he be a spark plug to kickstart the Cebu offense?
We'll have to find out, but they're putting him at the back. So Cebu shifting to 3 at the back from the looks of it. Sano flicked it. Still with him. He got past 2. Papalato denying Corsame. Asano doing everything he could to keep this. But we know Amitas are hard to beat. And Nano wins it there.
Aguilas throwing everything against the Cebu offense to make sure that they maintain this one-goal lead. They know how dangerous Cebu can be in late game situations. They want to prevent any chance of an equalizer here tonight and grab those well-deserved 3 points as it stands.
Cebu's bid for third place will be much more difficult with this result. The Aguilas will have the upper hand in the 5th place race versus Stallion Laguna should they make this stick. Kira Yamamoto is your lone goal scorer for this game again, hence the Aguilas lead. Stay with us after the game because we have our post-match interview and our highlights and statistics. The Aguilas just wasting the time away. Boom from Palpalatok. They play it forward now. Demirolu getting the big time stop. That's why they put him in. Villanueva kept it in, but couldn't get it forward. Demirolu with a stare down at Ibrahim Adamu.
More rough and tumble action as we approach the final minute of the game. It's now or never for Cebu if they want to keep their third place finish hopes alive.
But the cause is affected with Villanueva down with cramps. Brian Villanueva stretching himself on the sideline. He went off immediately to save time, but there's 30 seconds remaining until we hit the allocated 6 minutes.
Cebu possession on the ball. This may very well be their final attack of the game.
Kalukaran collected. Tete. Lovely control. Adamu. Will they launch another chance or will they run the clock? Here's De Paula. Turns. Cart. Straight to Jaridi. But that's the full-time whistle. The Aguilas and their supporters celebrating this. You can say they're able to escape Cebu FC and their late game. Not their late game, but with their tendency to spring off late game surprises, or they even call them surprises. They're able to hold off Cebu's potential late game comeback. 1-0 is the score. Kira Yamamoto is the lone goal scorer. Aguilas take the win over Cebu.
Aguilas handing Cebu their first loss of the championship round. A well-deserved effort here. It came down to the finest of margins, which Kira Yamamoto was able to cap off and complete a stunning 1-0 victory. An amazing game yet again here on the championship round of the Philippines Football League as we take a look at some of these highlights. Early on in the first half, Cebu was dominating possession, getting more chances, but that script completely flipped on its head. On the second half, it was all Aguilas from that point on, getting sharper chances and more opportunities to play into the box. Granted, Cebu was able to put up a stubborn defense, but this play right here, made by Issa Diallo, a dummy by Jibrila, finished by Yamamoto, pure teamwork. The recipe to success today for Aguilas UMAK as they take home all 3 points and move up to 5th place in the Philippines Football League. We're glad for you guys to have joined us here tonight. Once again, my name is Ed Lisabat. Along with Claudio Manzana, we bid you good night, God bless, and thank you for tuning in. We are Philippines Football League.
Thank you and good night. We are PFL.
Akira, you're the man of the match. You scored the lone goal that proved to be enough. You and your team had to play a lot of defense to get this one versus Cebu, a tough team. What does this result mean to you and the entire team?
First of all, thank you so much for the support, and I'm very happy to win this game and score the goal. And I want to also say thank you to my teammate. They always supportive to me. And yeah, we need to win this one to stay in the high place. And yeah, very happy that we won the game. Yeah.
The score was goalless at halftime. What adjustments did you and the team make because you were able to eventually get that important goal?
Yeah, I think from the beginning we dominated the game, and yeah, we were very confident and comfortable with the ball. And yeah, the chance came, and luckily I scored today. Yeah.
Of course, you have a message to the Aguilas fans, maybe also to your family, friends, supporters. Yes.
Yeah, I want to say thank you to everyone who supported today, and yeah, let's win next time also. And thank you to my family also.
Thank you very much. All the best.
Thank you.
Braso ang puhunan mo. Sa bawat segundong humihinga, pruweba to na ika'y uubra. Ang puso iyong pakinggan, pangalan mo kanilang tinitilian.
Pass for the goalkeeper, putting himself under pressure. It's the opener. Halike, will he take it? What a goal! Halike! And it's a goal. Bottom left corner. Opportunity for Philippine Army, and it is an equalizer. Fantastic goal. It's free on the right side, looking for the cross. Beto, and it's a goal. Warren won the gig. Yoka takes it straight to the goal. First blood drawn. Could easily be pulled back, but here's Aristorenas, no offside. Aristorenas makes it two.
Mirback meets that one from Malunsoko. Shoots, and they double the lead.
Yamaguchi! What a hit!
There's an attacking chance, and the Aguilas slip it in.